As the weather finally takes a promising turn towards summer, the Cape Associates crew moves closer to completing the exterior. The front entryway has been trimmed and is almost ready to welcome visitors. The mudroom and ADU entries are ready for final finishes as the crew wraps up siding around the makerspace or garage. Inside, we're getting ready for tile. The house has 3.5 baths, including 2 master baths, which are getting a heated floor system, one that provides additional comfort but is not a main source of heat. Here we're installing Schluter Detra-Heat, which is comprised of an uncoupling membrane and heating wire in a single layer. Tile is installed directly over it. The uncoupling membrane is embedded in thinset and serves 2 purposes here: to separate the tile and wood substrate, thereby minimizing potential cracking due to expansion and contraction. It also provides a grid system into which the heating wire is clicked into place. Cape Associates in-house tile setter Billy Moore first lays out his sheets of the membrane, making sure to align the rows before cutting. This ensures that the wire stays straight, maintaining uniform coverage of heat.
Just to make sure there's nothing floating around.
Working one section at a time, Moore first wipes down the area with a damp cloth.
Which is essentially, just take the sponge from your rinse, wring it out, and just run it across the floor just to pick up any lingering dust, because dust is a major bond breaker. You don't want to soak the plywood, because then it won't stick. And then the fun begins. Pile a thin set, and then you always want to, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're sticking tile or plywood, a wall, a floor, whatever, you always want to flat trowel it first. I believe it's called bedding, which is you're really pushing the thin set into the grains of the substrate. If you just start by doing this, you're only pushing it in where the teeth hit. Now I like to stay just a little bit away from the edge here, because if you get a lot of thin set buildup, you got to make sure you clean this out, because it's gonna interfere with you running your wire. Lay our piece down. Roughly in the neighborhood we want it. Have a little roller here, just to really set it down to the floor. Basically, you repeat that same process to every sheet. Work your way out the door. Actually, you can work your way whichever way you want, because you can walk on this after you thin set it. All right, so that's how you put the membrane down. We're ready to run our wire and start laying out our floor and start tiling.
The system will be controlled by a unit that mounts in the wall and is connected to the wire that runs through the floor. Pre-ordered to the configuration of each bathroom, the wire comes on a roll that is already cut to length. Starting with the temperature sensor, the wire is snapped in place and then looped back and forth until it ends in the corner. With the wire in place, the floor is ready for tile. While the Detra-Heat system will add comfort to the master baths, the entire house will be heated and cooled using the latest forced air technology, which starts in the basement.
So we've got Mitsubishi equipment, heat pump technology heating this place. So we've got a couple different systems. Right here we're looking at a ducted mini split system made by Mitsubishi.
So this is doing everything.
So we have supply and return ductwork. We have our line set that goes out to the outdoor heat pump. That heat pump does both heating and cooling. You know, when we first started using heat pump and split systems, we were using them for cooling only. We weren't using them for primary heat. And now with technology like Mitsubishi's Hyperheat, we're able to make this both primary and the only heating and cooling systems in the house. We have 2 of these feeding the first floor. We have a different unit feeding the finished basement, and then we have a different unit up in the attic feeding ductwork that feeds down to the second floor. But this is by far smaller than what we would traditionally have feeding this large of an area, and that's driven by the efficiency of the house. It's a very well insulated, very tight house.
So you mentioned another unit in the finished space. You show me that?
Same technology, different unit. Let's take a look.
So is this it?
So that's it. Ductless split system, recessed in the ceiling to condition, heat and cool, finished basement space.
So I love that this thing is recessed in the ceiling and it's not on the wall where you can see it.
And it's a better location central to the room, so it's sending air in that direction. We didn't have to worry about a wall unit not being centered or interfering with a window or being in the corner, so better distribution.
So functions better and it's aesthetically pleasing too. So we've got a high performing building envelope, high performing mechanicals. This place seems like it's going to be pretty comfortable and very energy efficient. Well done.
Outside, Matt's crew installs the ADU porch decking. After creating a simple mitered border around the porch landing, Carpenters Mike and Bob fill in the field with the remaining boards. They're installing a PVC decking product from Aridus called Universal Porch Plank. The decking is cut and routed with woodworking tools. They install the boards with a camo hidden fastener system. A board straightener helps the guys maintain clean, straight lines. The last board is installed closest to the house after being ripped to fit and then face screwed using Cortex screws. The screws here and around the perimeter are filled with custom cut plugs made on site with a plug cutter and scrap decking material to ensure a good match. Cross braces that were prefabricated in the shop are lagged in place to complete the bracket assembly that holds up the ADU roof. Next time, the wood floors go down and the doors are hung. Until then, I'm Chris Ermides from the Cottage on the Cape Idea House Build.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.